Dr. Alicia Nasser, behavioral sports psychology. Okay, so you're very smart. Can you figure out why my headphones, after I take them off, get tangled without me actually tangling them? It's ridiculous.
The fact that we have a brilliant doctor on and that our opening question is how do we untangle earphones?
So we talked a little bit about burnout.
It's hard to identify sometimes unless you know what to look for. And so oftentimes what it looks like on the ice is maybe a lack of trying, a lack of enthusiasm, decision making, mental fatigue and physical fatigue go hand in hand. But I think within the NHL, identifying player behavior or the absence of a certain behavior. When we talk about why don't teams look enthused, why don't they look like they care, it may not be an absence of caring. It most definitely can be the presence of burnout and just knowing what behaviors to look for. So then coming back from that really hot and off the hop, being ready to go and not letting your game drop just because you were on a long break.
How are some ways that you would recommend to an athlete that is not participating in the Olympics to stay mentally sharp over the break?
Disengage from social media as much as possible. Obviously, watch hockey because it's going to be a very exciting time. But it's more so about when they're coming back. Like, of course, during the break, maybe do a little less with your body in terms of maybe just foam roll and be stretching and not being too much on ice activity because you do want to maximize the rest. I think sometimes I found this a lot this year with a lot of NHL guys is that it's really difficult for them to not do anything. They're very much used to doing something, but not doing anything is doing something in and of itself. It's a form of rest and the body needs rest. But I would say disengaging from social media as much as possible just to make sure their mind is staying dialed in. And then it's more so about when they come back from that break. And what I have found two things to be true is when long break in the NHL being 4 days even, coming back from that, players oftentimes have these expectations, rightfully so, because they're professional athletes. They should have the highest standards for themselves. But they'll come back from a break and let's say the first couple of shifts are a little rocky. It's their expectation of what that shift should look like or those first couple of shifts that sets them up either for success or failure. Because what I often find is that if the first couple of shifts back on their first game back doesn't go so well, then they're really hard on themselves and it's very jarring to them because maybe they're making uncharacteristic mistakes, they're turning the puck over too much or whatever is happening, and that in itself then creates and initiates this spiral of this low confidence and self-esteem.
We talk a lot about rest versus rust on this show as it pertains to guys getting a lengthy break and when they come back.